G2 Bionicle was legendary. Seeing Bionicle reborn and going back to the basics with the original heroes. And now they have awesome new designs and some great new pieces. It was so good. But can these designs be built better? Well, let's check out some community creations that take these masters, this main Toa team, and breathe new life into them. Let's see if these revamps are indeed built better. We're going to begin with Liwa, the Knight of Jungle by Hans Brick. Dude, this is sick. Decking out Liwa in silver knight armor, he looks so good. I feel like Toa look best when they're wearing, knight armor. When I think of a Toa, I think of knights. And then having some overgrown jungle exploding out of this armor, even a little bit like creeping out of his hands and even on his weapon. This is such a sick idea and such a good way of showcasing his elemental powers. So yeah, comparing this to the original, it is a little bit of a change, pretty big change. But hey, when you've got a fun concept like this, I think it's totally fine to deviate heavily from the source material. That's always the beauty of revamps to me. You can make it super accurate, you can try something new, you can explore a totally different idea. Building mocks is about adding your own personal touches to stuff. And I love seeing the creative ideas that people come up with when they want to try their own take on an existing character. Something else that's nice about this, it's not using the original mask. Instead, it's using Liwa Uniter's mask. Yeah, so you don't have to limit yourself to just sticking to one version of the character. Take little bits from every single version and combine it into one. Plus, I think this mask works a lot better with the silver armor. It's already got silver in the color scheme, Nice touch to also add this brain attack bulk mask for shoulder armor. You take off the orange visor and you kind of recontextualize it and, well, it looks pretty dope. Up next is a mock by WowBlock, and this is Tahu Mark II. A different approach, but one that I think is incredible. This very finely crafted armor. It makes him look more like a Gundam. And this entire design, it's very, very posable, which is a delight. And now, he's kind of like a boxer. Some of these shots here show him punching and hitting things, and he's got these like armored up fists. I like that. That of course is using the mask from the set Furno XL. Who would have thought that would look good as boxing gloves? But it's also being used as shoulder pads. You can kind of interchange them if you want. Some good ideas on this mock, man. I also like the fact too that the arms, they end in these exhaust ports. It's almost like Tahu is a living furnace, and smoke and flame would just bellow out of these pipes. And hey, when you think about it, he could even use his fire powers to strengthen his punches. Make it like a rocket punch. Yet again, we've got another great example of illustrating the elemental powers and kind of playing with it a little bit. I'm also just blown away by the shaping on this. Everything is so clean, there's so few gaps. I mean, look at these gauntlets. It's so sleek, it looks so good. Very, very nice. Now, hey, if you like this mock and you're like, oh man, I wish I could build this, you can. There's instructions to build this on Rebrickable. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to buy it yourself and make this mock. Even if you just build it to learn how it's made and study the techniques, and then you can implement some of that stuff in your own creations. Now for Gully, and this is built by TikiMan88. See, this is fun. It's not a major upgrade by any means, but the changes that they've made, they are excellent. Like this new dress, which could be a dress, but it also could just be like a series of blades hanging off of her belt. Whichever one it is, it does look sick. It's very dynamic energy to it. And now she also has some cool looking yellow armor. I appreciate the kind of gladiator style armor for this. Just like a heavily armored sleeve that's plated up. It's a pretty good look. And sick idea too to use Waspix's mask for the very top of the shoulder. The shape, the energy of this piece, it adds a lot to this design. And this updated trident weapon, it just feels right. It's perfect for the Queen of the Sea. Hey, this is great. And it's a good reminder too that you don't have to heavily change the concept or drastically modify the set to make it a little bit better. You can add your own personal tiny touches, and it'll look great. This next mock looks pretty great too. This is by KaneZI1 and it's their take on Kopaka. So yeah, no more gold and no trans blue. Just, back to basics with the silver and the white. I like it, especially because it's a throwback to his Nuva version back in G1. And something else that's been taken from Kopaka Nuva is the ice skates. But now, there's some additional armor on top of them. Yeah, I'm glad that this revamp paid attention to this area because his snowshoes, his ice skates, it is a surprising theme amongst a couple different versions of Kopaka. And you just don't see people paying attention to it all that much in all sorts of revamps of this guy. And just like the original Nuva set, they can be removed, and he's still got some pretty well-armored feet. A few other nice touches too is the red flag on the back. That's a great way to break up the color scheme, because sure, silver and white, it is nice. But silver and white, they're quite close to each other in terms of like the hue of the colors. So I don't know, it could be a little bit dull if it was just silver and white. But hey, even just the smallest little inclusion of a very bright color, it really livens things up. If you're building a mock right now that has a bit more of a drab color scheme, just put a flag on their back that's a bright color and it's probably going to be enough to spice things up. And this fur element on the waist, acting like a fur pelt. It makes sense you'd see something like that, right? He's in a cold climate, he needs to keep warm. See, everything about this, from the ice skates to the fur pelt, even the flag. A lot of thought has been put into where this character lives, their elemental power, and then they've introduced elements onto this character that make sense for who they are and where they live. Because of course you're going to see that red flag in the middle of a snowstorm. I love it when builders do this. You don't just put pieces on the mock willy-nilly. There's logic and decision behind what you're doing, and it makes sense within the world. That's a sign of a good mock. Now for Onua. This revamp is made by Clockwork Guardian. Yeah, a bit less of a bulky approach to this one. Sure, he still has a little bit more heft and muscle, but I think it's been done in a way that doesn't feel so cartoon-like. Now look, I've always been a fan of G2 Onua, especially his master's appearance. But it is safe to say that the giant torso and the more thin limbs, yeah, it does feel a little bit more cartoon-like, right? I think this revamp takes the ideas of this set, but grounds it in reality. It makes it feel more lifelike. I like that. I also like these claws. The G2 set didn't really have claws. Instead, they were kind of more like shovels. But this design, yeah, it feels a lot closer to the G1 version of Onua. Only now the claws can actually pose. He's also got little tiny claws on his toes. Hey, anytime you can make Onua look more like a mole, I'm down for that. There's also some incredible shaping on this as well. It's very compact, it's gap-free, I love it. And let me draw your attention to a very, very clever part use. It's a piece that I don't see used at all. This is the first time I'm seeing it used in a mock, unless I'm forgetting something, but still, regardless, it's very rare to see. Right here on the neck, you might remember this element from a Star Wars Ultra Build set, Darth Maul. It's like a hood element, except the hood is like down on his back. This piece kind of slots onto the torso. But here, it's slotted onto Onua's torso and it beautifully fills in some gaps. It makes everything feel so well-rounded and clean. How good is this? So nice to see this obscure element used so well. Now we're going to check out Pahatu, Grand Master of Stone. This is by Black Bolt Johnson. A little bit more extra tan and dark tan, that is a welcome addition. When you think of sand, when you think of stone, his elemental powers of course, yeah, you think of these colors. It works. I also think it's excellent that this isn't focusing on the Master's version of Pahatu, well, exclusively. There's elements of course, but it's taking notes from the Uniter version as well. Specifically the chain with a boulder on it that's on his staff. I appreciate that getting spotlighted. Especially the way that it's attached. He has these gauntlets, and there's a 1x1 cone in trans green at the very end. And yeah, you can get a chain kind of stemming out of that with a boulder on the end. I like to think that this is some sort of like magical gauntlet, and he can shoot boulders with this chain, and then they stay attached to the chain and he can use it as a weapon. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I'm a big fan too of the minifigure swords on the shoulders, as well as the dark tan cloth on the waist. This all looks so incredibly fancy, it makes him look like a king. Or I don't know, he's at least wearing some sort of ceremonial grand armor. Maybe it's armor that's been passed down from generation to generation. I kind of like the idea of Toa looking fancy and fine in more regal outfits. The kind of attire you might see them wearing at a gala or a fancy ball. You know, that could be a sick idea for a series of mocks. If you've ever read the Marvel comic The Hellfire Gala, they kind of played with that idea. All the X-Men characters and other characters looking sick in very fancy clothing. Imagine that, but for Bionicle. I think this kind of fits with that vibe, doesn't it? And finally, here is Akimu, the mask maker. This is built by Kamamura Knight. So the Master's version of Akimu, he was just a wee little guy. But later, of course, in his Uniter form, he was about the same size as everyone else. So I guess this is kind of merging those two concepts, but given the color distribution, I get the sense that it is more just a bigger take on his original form. Now, one thing I really enjoy here is some of the smaller system highlights. For example, you'll notice some of these gold blades on the torso. That slight little bit of extra decoration and flair, it looks stunning. The detail of these pieces pairs quite well with the detail of the mask. And there's also a bit more detail down here on the boots. This is fun. There's a lot of silver localized on the boots and the gloves. And you know, he's a mask maker. It makes sense that he would have some pretty heavy duty boots and gloves. That's a very nice touch. And quickly taking a look at the back, you'll see this 3.0 gold torso piece that originally came on Rocker. I've always liked it when people use this for back armor. There's something about the shape and the size of it that is a perfect match. This is good. Yeah, Akimu looks baller. This is a brilliant revamp. And that's every single Toa from the Wave 1 of G2. They've been revamped and reimagined. Did you think they were built better, or did you like the originals more? Let me know. So hey, if you want to see a bit more, or you want to grab those instructions for that Tahu, take a look at the links below. Thanks for watching guys, happy building, and bye for now. You had to be there, man. Back when the original leaks for G2 were dropping, it was a magical time.